What's up, everybody? Garrett here at Born to be Rad, and I'm here with the boys from Dead Pit. I have Wes, Mr. CK, and Mr. Uncle Bill himself. And I thought this would be a pretty cool video, especially with these new Halloween releases coming out in 4K, to actually talk about this Dr. Death footage, or this cut that we got with the Halloween 5 4K. We're going to run through this thing, kind of watch it together, give our reactions on it, and just kind of a little chat about it. And you guys can check it out and let us know what you guys think about this lost footage. What do you guys think?
Well, this was the big selling point for Part 5, I think. I think that was the biggest extra they included in any of the discs.
Yeah.
So, and I'd never really, if I heard about it, I forgot about it. This isn't any, like, archaeological find or anything. Like, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about when I first heard about the Dr. Death footage.
I think this is the only reason that I bought Part 5 was because I knew Slippy had worked on this, and like I knew that it was kind of a big deal because it had never ever been seen before or put into anything before like this. So, I mean, that kind of forced me to buy the 4K, which I didn't really want to do because, you know.
Well, I kind of agree with you. Like, to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of 4 and 5 too much, only because I didn't watch them often. I feel like I always tried to give them a shot. I got really bored and then just kind of didn't really pay attention. So I actually feel, to be quite honest, the first time I really sat down and like paid full attention was during these last releases, and I think the quality looked fantastic. So the fact that I was like, I knew that Part 5 and I always never really cared for it, so like I never remembered a lot about it. But yeah, I wasn't interested in buying it, but I did want to check out those special features, especially because, yeah, I had no idea that those even existed, which, again, kind of makes sense based on the road they're about to take with Michael Myers going into Part 6, that this footage kind of brought things together because, you know, we know how the end of Part 5 goes, where the random guy goes into the jail with, like, a Tommy gun and, like, blows everybody away or whatever, and it's very weird, man. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, that was, like, the most random, cringy ending to this movie ever, and it kind of ties it in together, but at the same time it still kind of doesn't really explain it.
Yeah, one interesting thing, I think it was the previous set, they had made an announcement on deleted scenes from Part 4, and we never got that, and there's never been anything spoken about that since. Was that like a typo? Or did the footage just disappear? Or what's up with that? We never did get that.
I don't know. I didn't even know that was missing. Nor really dove deep into it.
It may have been on the Anchor Bay Blu-rays originally. I know it was originally announced on one of those earlier Blu-ray editions, but it never. I think it canceled that particular extra.
Maybe that'll be in the 4K box set. That'll be the.
That's what they're holding out for you. Listen,
sounds
seriously though, man, I can't imagine. I really cannot imagine trying to order, like, if they did, you know, from 6 on, and trying to order all that shit with all the shit that's happened this time. Like, I cannot imagine how, like, crazy that would be. And just, I don't know.
Well, you know what? I hope they don't do these anymore, because look at guys. Look at.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely.
So I bought a nice box set for these.
Whatever their box set is not going to be as nice as that, I guarantee you.
Yeah, so I bought a very nice box set. So again, there's no more room for any more discs here. So they can't do any more, because then that just means I just wasted money.
They're going to have Halloween Resurrection in 4K with fucking Busta Rhymes doing a commentary. I know it.
That's the thing that somebody was mentioning, though, is like the other 5 movies, or however many, I don't know how many more there are. None of those are particularly fan favorites. I mean, a lot of younger people like the Rob Zombie ones, I guess.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I think a lot of people do like H2O. Me personally, like, I don't care about it too much. Like, to me, it just kind of felt like it was a failed attempt at kind of the Scream era, but I know a lot of people really love that one. But at the same time, you got to give H2O a little bit of credit, because that kind of gave Halloween a little more resurgence. Like, you know, it was kind of in the shitter before H2O came out, you know, the series itself. Like,
I think the thing about
5 and 6, like, it was just getting really bad.
Yeah, the thing with me about H2O, and it just aggravates me, is the fact that every scene has a different mask in
Yeah.
it, and it's very
CGI mask.
90s. It is
Oh
extreme.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's the Scream Halloween movie.
Oh, of course.
there's way
Yeah.
too much like kind of sarcastic humor and stuff in that. And Josh Hartnett's another thing that's really hard to watch in that. Josh Hartnett's work in anything has not aged well. So if you go back and try to watch it now, you're just kind of like, oh god. Like even in The Faculty and stuff like that, he's a tough. He plays the same character in every movie. It's really tough to watch.
Yeah. Is he
But
even doing anything anymore at all?
no, I think people finally figured out he couldn't act. They were like,
Yeah,
shit,
I feel like I
gotta
haven't
stop
seen him
putting in
in so long.
stuff.
Yeah.
No, I
What
ended
was that
up
other one
being.
he was in where he like? What was that other movie he was like the main star where he? What was it called? Like
He was
40
in a movie
Days and
with
something. Remember that one?
Harrison.
Oh,
Ford,
30 Days a
wasn't
Night. Oh,
Oh yeah, he was in that too, wasn't he?
yeah, he was in 30 Days a Night, and he was in.
I like that movie.
it? What was the Harrison Ford movie? I remember that. But I
Yeah,
can't
you're
remember
right.
the name of it.
Oh, God. It
That was
wasn't
probably.
like.
I think that was maybe the biggest movie that he did since he was like.
Was it
working with
40
Harrison
Days,
Ford.
40 Nights, or something like that?
Yeah,
or-
that one where he had to he I was like gave it up for Lent or something. I don't know, something like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
They could get Josh Hartnett back though, but they, for the Halloween ends, they could.
Man, they might bring
rewrite
it
him
back
in there.
considering how many people they brought back for the last one.
He'd be
The
happy
long
to do
lost
it
son
now.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that would slice into the timeline, I guess. But yeah, so again, really quick before we start this up, I want to bring this up, and I know you guys did too, is we're not hearing a lot about it, but here's the new disc, and the big selling point for this was this footage that we're about to show here. So if you didn't buy this might be the best way for you guys to kind of check this footage out for the first time. I watched it once, and I had some stuff to say about it, so that's why I thought this would be a good idea with you guys. And what's crazy is that it doesn't list this thing anywhere on here, and for some reason, no one else is talking about that or find it weird, I guess, that this footage, like, I had to really just kind of scour these two discs to try to find it. Did you guys have an issue with it, or did you already kind of know where it was beforehand?
No, I did the same thing. I put the 4K in first and didn't find it on that, and then it is on the Blu-ray. But yeah, I think the reason it's not on the back, though, we were talking about before, is they probably printed that way, way ahead of time. And that may be why some of the other stuff's not listed on the back of like the TV cut that's not on the back of the Halloween 4K. So that's probably
This-
the same reason.
This whole thing's just been really odd for me, to be honest, that people like, because universally the reviews and things that I've seen for these discs have been positive, and like nobody is talking about any of this stuff. I don't think anybody is really, like, except for us, to be honest, about any of the negatives about this shit. If they are, then I haven't watched them. I've watched a bunch of reviews that have just been like up their ass about everything they're putting out, but it really.
I mean, I think the quality is really what's putting it over, because I really do believe that part 4 and 5 is the best it's ever looked. Like, I feel like I was watching, something very different when I watched those. So I'm going to give them credit on that. But like, imagine you as a Halloween fan or a new Halloween fan going to buy this thing and searching for this Doctor. Oh, where's that edition with the Dr. Death cut? And turning this over and reading the back and being like, well, it's not on this disc, and that kind of sucks. But at the same time, like, our buddy Ken over at Mid-Level Media, he's had a little, not negative, but at the same time, like, he's been really burned with this whole thing. And I kind of feel bad because, he bought the big lot from them for like $38 a piece to get posters that he's probably never going to put up. Then he
No.
waited forever to get his stuff. And then he finally gets it, like, almost like 3 weeks after everybody else. And his part 4 is like missing a disc. Like, I mean, like, this is coming straight from them. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel bad where it's kind of like, yeah, like, not only did you have to wait and it finally came, but now you're like missing discs that you've got to go contact them and figure out if they can send. It's a big pain in the butt.
Well, that's the biggest thing about it, though. It's like, whatever the quality of the actual transfers are on these films, to me, is overshadowed by the fact that they fucked the planning up on almost every aspect. on the vinyls, on the discs, on the packaging. Like they really couldn't have screwed it up anymore, in my opinion. Like, I guess people just don't give a shit, and that's fine. You can not give a shit, but it's kind of annoying. The whole thing is kind of annoying.
But the footage itself is on YouTube if you don't want to watch it with commentary. And it is a possibility because we are not well liked over at Scheme Factory. They may yank it, us doing the commentary over it. I don't think so, but it's always possible.
All right, so I think we got to really talk about really quick is that Slippy said that this was a mess when he got it. So in perspective, he said there was zero audio. It looked like crap, and he had to kind of just take random scenes and splice it together to make it all work. So based on that, I mean, I think he did a hell of a job. But, there's still a little suspect stuff in here that I think we could talk about.
Oh, my God.
So this was the original opening sequence of Halloween 5. A gravely wounded Michael Myers is saved by a young hermit, played by somebody. Nicknamed in the script as Dr. Death. Blah, 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 blah. You can see it on there. I can't read fast. I'm from Eastern Kentucky.
The Mountain Man character, which was what everybody remembers from this, which I never understood that anyway.
Right. It didn't really make sense. Till we recently discovered footage as well as scenes and dialogue from the finished film. We've done one of our best to recreate.
When he was editing this together, he was just getting like the biggest hard on ever was. He was getting to do this.
Dude, this scene right here, I can't. This to me is like the funniest thing ever. And it's even funnier now because
there is something about
wicked not threatening. He's like water parked Michael.
There's something about watching him boogie board down through here like this.
That's Michael Myers with the Great Wolf
like
Lodge, Uncle Bill.
It really is. That's great. Now, something about this, too, just, I don't know. The set design and the production of this just doesn't look right with the rest of the movie. But this is Dr. Death.
So this voice is done, I guess, by Sean Whalen, which actually, you look at him and be like, oh, it looks like friggin' the guy from People Under the Stairs.
This dude looks like he
looks like Sean Whalen.
He looks like he's from Lord of the Rings movies or something, though.
Watch this right here where you actually now in the 4K, you can see the string, and it looks like his shoulder's out of socket. Look at it. See it? Looks like he dislocated his shoulder because there's like a wire like pulling him back.
So this footage is not really in that bad of a shape.
No, not at all.
For 32 years. What is it, 32, 33 years old?
It's like a sad, cute Myers mask.
But Dr. Death just reminds me of somebody that would be like an extra in a Road Warrior movie.
Yes. It doesn't seem like his name would be Dr. Death.
The thing you got to understand, though, is he had to redo everything audio-wise. There was zero audio left on this, so that's some pretty talented filmmaking there. I hate to give it to Slippy, but
oh no, I mean he does a great job, of course.
That's why that Nightmare on Elm Street box is going to be so killer when it comes out.
Oh, definitely. Dude, watch this right here. This is freaking brutal. This is the scene where I'm like, I couldn't believe my eyes when I was watching.
Yeah, I had to rewind it myself a couple of times.
What the fuck was this?
We'll have to ask him about that next time we have him on. You'll see it coming up here. I don't know what the hell that is he's got in his hands.
Oh, fuck.
What the heck happened? Ring.
Yeah, I think he could get away with not using that footage. Yeah.
Yeah, like that splice right there, he could have just fell on him from the side, you know what I mean?
It's funny, though, because like before all this came out, I remember people talking about, like how awesome it would be if they knew what really happened at the beginning of this movie. And now that you know, it's like, ain't that fucking awesome? Like, there's a reason why stuff gets cut out of movies.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting to see, but you can totally see why they cut it out.
But at the same time, what they added in is not really much better either.
That's true.
No.
If they were going to do that, like, because the rest of the movie really doesn't make any sense with the Thorn stuff without that opening. If they were going to do it, they should have found a way to do it like better than that and just left that in there.
And it does explain the tattoo, at least.
Yeah.
Which you'll see. But yeah, she's having flashbacks to the year prior where she...
Danielle!
Did they ever say if she murdered her stepmother? Or did her stepmother pass away? Or I don't think
I can't remember if they ever said like what happened after this. No.
Which you would think she wouldn't, or she would have been in like some sort of juvenile detention center.
No, she's in some sort of weird like I don't know what kind of home that is.
She's got like a rip off of like the Don't Panic pajamas on. You notice that?
Yeah, it's
with the dinosaur.
It's like the same design basically, but like a button down. Yeah.
I always love the way they did that in these movies, though, where they just have like some sort of facility that houses like the most random. It's like in Friday Part 5 where there's just like there's a psychopathic killer mixed with like a guy that's mixed with like some goth chick. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So he's got antlers on, Uncle Bill.
Yeah, that's how you know he's serious.
Like, imagine writing this like, let's have a voodoo guy at the beginning.
That's exactly what they were going for, the Papa Shango approach. They were like, he's going to bring
should
people
have
back.
Papa Shango. Or the guy from Temple of Doom or whatever.
Yeah. So that actually does explain that, yeah.
I think they could have tweaked the character a little bit and it wouldn't have been as bad.
Yeah, the character's just way too goofy.
He looks like Yahoo Serious. You remember Yahoo Serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. The
Yeah,
one
no,
movie
it's
you
Like
did.
Young Einstein or something.
Yeah.
Vinegar Syndrome's going to come out with that in 4K.
Now she's going to do the changeling thing. Michael, why do you remain? He's coming, bitches. She spelled that out.
Coming for me. Nicolas
Should've
Cage,
said,
man.
oh shit, that mask sucks.
Yeah. He should have like threw the mask down and like grabbed something else. Look at that thing.
Looks like the most ridiculous bird. Ooh. Alrighty.
Edited by Michael Fulcher.
Sean Whalen.
Mm-hmm.
Special thanks to Cliff McMillan, of course.
So there you have it, though. But I don't know.
Always
what we
fighting the
have.
curse of Michael Myers.
The Curse of Michael Myers. That's an interesting, end to
Well, yeah,
it.
why
That's the new
that?
title. Yeah.
The curse of Michael Myers.
Was that maybe an alternate title back in the day?
I mean, it could have been. That could have been what they were going for. Like, oh god, it's just bad. It's just bad. There's really nothing like. There's no way they could have put that in the fucking movie anyway.
Well, I think they could have.
I mean, I
tweaked
just
it
think
a
the
little bit.
whole thing was just the whole scene, even in the original Part 5, where that guy picks him up, is just a weird opening to the movie. You know, it's odd. But I think as far as what he did with the footage he did the best it was going to get.
I mean, the
You're gonna hit
easiest thing to have done in that movie would have been, okay, he gets shot at the end of Part 4 and he gets knocked off into the river, and then he just winds up somewhere, gets back up, and just fucking goes along, his merry way, and it picks up with Part 5. But for some reason, they're like, no, he's got to be
Incapacitated.
Which doesn't make any sense with the rest of the character, because that never ever happens in any of the other films. But in this one, for some reason,
they didn't need to show Michael water slide either. They could have just had him at the bottom of the lake when like that scene was just it was like comical.
The fucking Michael log flume where he's flying out through there.
Have you ever been to Great Wolf Lodge? Have you been there?
That's Uncle Bill's favorite spot.
Yeah, I've been there
like 15 times.
I've never been there. My guy's too little, so I've never been there. But next time you go, you should dress up on Myers and take a video going down this line.
That'd be killer.
People be like, what the fuck is he doing?
Like,
I was talking
Part
to a buddy of mine, actually just this evening, because he's always borrowing one of my Michael Myers masks. And we were talking about maybe, huh?
Who was somebody knocking your door? Can I borrow that Myers?
No,
mask?
he's my neighbor. I've known him since I was like in kindergarten. So,
Right.
but yeah, he loves playing Michael Myers and stuff. And I was just thinking we need to come up with an idea and do like a short movie or something like we did back in the day when the same guy that butt fucked Uncle Bill on. You remember that back in the day?
Of course, yeah. That was a classic.
So we could do he could ride down the big sandy river. You know.
Just have him like
Just have it open that
floating
way.
down. He'd probably end up drowning his ass. That'd be it.
Well, what you can do is you can make it into the pit too, and then when Uncle Bill's crossing over the lake to get to your house, you can have him float by.
That's a great idea.
It's like I think it would be killer because we were in the Haddonfield. We could make it Haddonfield 2, right? So just start like opening credits. You know how it always starts with the Halloween theme music, and just have it, fade in, and there's the river, and then there you see Michael Myers floating down the river, and then he just gets, he stops and
what else
presses
is funny? Imagine taking that footage of him going down the river and adding like the Benny Hill music to it. It would change the whole dynamic.
It would.
Let's see.
What we need to do is just have that footage. Just let us show that footage, the real footage, right? And then we'll just cut to a bunch of different scenes of him, like he can do a slip and slide, and then he can do like just going down a water park slide, and then just a bunch of different scenes of Michael Myers like enjoying the water. Splice them all together.
So yeah, Halloween 5. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think Halloween 4 or 5 has aged that well. I don't know what it is. I used to like 4 quite a bit, and it's not a bad movie. But, like, I don't know. Those two movies in particular, like, they kind of go together.
I think
and
so too, yeah.
I don't know if 5 kind of just makes 4 even worse or how that is, but, like,
well,
5 is pretty bad.
You know what? At the last viewing I had with these editions, I actually found 5 the most enjoyable I've ever found it, only because as I'm watching it and seeing these things, especially in 4K, like him going down the water and then seeing like that string pulling him where it looks like his shoulders popping out or whatever, you see all these little things. It's almost so bad in a sense that it's like entertaining in like a laughing kind of way. Like the scene at the end where the guy goes into for one, Michael Myers in jail, just sitting there with his mask on, like in prison, and then a guy randomly shows up and just like blows away all the cops like a machine. You watch that scene and it's like, is this the same movie? Like it's just so bonkers that a part of me kind of like I kind of appreciate it in a way because it's just so off the wall, and you just look at it and you're like, who wrote this? You know what I mean? Like it makes zero sense. And then him like driving cars around the fields, like chasing. It was. To me, it was so off the wall that I kind of found it somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with that. It's so stupid, and a lot of the scenes in it are so ridiculous that it is kind of enjoyable in a way like that. But I don't get the fucking. I really don't get the hate for Part 4 because I thought Part 4 and still do think Part 4 is like the closest thing that they ever got to going back to Part 1. Like basically, that's what they were trying to do.
As a movie. I don't mind Part 4 as a movie. My problem, and I think the scenery is good. I think, the story's well done. My only problem with Part 4 is I actually think Part 4's mask is the worst out of like Part 5 mask is goofy. So it's almost like laughable. Part 4 mask looks so cheap that it's like all of a sudden he shows up, he's like, and I'm looking, I go, he doesn't look intimidating whatsoever. It's like he just looks like a doofus. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't look threatening. So like to me, that's what my biggest thing was. Every time he showed up on screen, I'm like, he just didn't seem like a killer. He just seemed like almost like a dumbass or something. Like it didn't.
as bad as the four mask is, though, like, okay, he rides down the river and it automatically changes into another mask that's worse. Like, it's just a year in
Contaminated
between
water,
these
like-
movies. Like, what's the issue with he just reusing the same mask? It's kind of dumb, really.
I can never understand that either. Like why they switch and these movies are only made like a year apart or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would
Almost
you
back
switch
to
the
back.
fucking mask? Like people
Well,
already.
that's what's even worse, and it's like almost like, is that a gimmick? Because has there been any movie that's used the same mask? I think every movie's had a different mask, right? Like
Yep.
completely. And it's one of those things like, who's keeping every one of these masks?
I mean, the closest would have been 1 and 2, I would think.
1 and 2 is the same
Right.
mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because I always feel like it looks so different, but it was just getting old.
The only mask there's only one mask for part 2, and it's the one that dude paid like, I don't know, $80,000 for or whatever. That's the only one that's. The story behind that, I think, is it was Deborah Hill's mask, and she threw it under her bed, and those Dawn Post masks are crazy thin, like the old school ones. So, like, over the span of a year and a half, or whatever it was, in between filming, it was just dirty and had already started, like, changing shape and stuff like that.
The shape.
Way to go,
Yeah.
Deborah Hill, you dumbass.
She's dead. Don't say nothing about her.
She's stupid for that.
Did you end up getting the Shatner mask, the blank or whatever?
No, I kind of held off on it. I don't know.
So he's going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con in like 2 weeks, and a part of me is like, oh man, should I try to get that mask and like have him sign it? But I don't know. Just kind of on the fence about it.
Yeah, I'm sure his
Like I
signature's
really have no
probably
reason
$100
to be William
anyway.
Shatner, but what?
His signature's probably $100 at least.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even look, and like, there, to me, like William Shatner is cool, but like I would have no reason. Like I wasn't a Star Trek guy at all, but I'd have no reason to get his autograph. But then I was thinking to myself, like, I guess it would be kind of unique to have him on that mask, but I don't know. I didn't know if you ended up getting it and how the quality was and stuff.
If you get in there, you should ask him about going up into space.
I cut my hair of getting the ghoulie today, but I talked myself out of it.
Look, you need
It's
to
in
buy
stock.
the fucking ghoulie. Get it.
Which ghoulie is that? That's not the Trick or Treat one, right?
Yeah.
That's
it
the,
is.
That's the mask that he's got.
Yeah, that's just the mask.
Oh. Is that what you're going to be for Halloween? The ghoulie?
That would be a good idea. That would be a great fucking costume.
Get-
If you had like a toilet seat, like just wore around your neck.
Oh, that's a
Get you some
wicked good
red
idea.
suspenders.
Fuck.
He's getting screamed at next week. You're like, what's the matter? He's like, oh, I got in trouble. I was like in the bathroom taking the seat off. The hell are you doing in there?
I don't think I'd use a.
I need this.
I don't think I'd use the used toilet seat.
I need this.
That'd be so
my
cute.
costume.
Get your oversized toilet seat.
That's actually a great idea. Okay, so just basically wear like a black cape, right? And
Yeah.
then just have a toilet
Toilet
seat
seat.
and that fucking mask.
It would be
That's
killer.
what I'm. That's
You're
what I'm gonna go with.
You're gonna show up on the next stream with it on, just sitting there.
That'd be killer.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, I guess that's really what we want to talk about. Final thoughts on it. If the big grand scheme of things, it happened. In my opinion, what I wish they would have done is they would have had an alternate cut on the 4K with that embedded into the beginning, so you could watch both complete versions of the movie. I think that's what I would have wanted. But other than that, it is what it is, I guess. It was well done as far as, what they were able to do with it. That one little splice of Michael kind of sliding in out of the side there was really weird. And I guess it wasn't really necessary. They could have just did without that little part. But
On one thing, though, I wanted to mention about that. I don't know if it was just my player or what, but it wasn't like that on YouTube. On my player, and I may take a picture of this and superimpose it.
well, before you say
video.
something, let me ask you, before you say anything, are you going to tell me that your player looked way worse than what we just saw?
It did.
Mine, I was thinking the same thing when we were watching.
Yeah.
I go, oh, that didn't look as bad as it looked on my player, because when my player, I don't even think it had like a black
It
background.
didn't. It was like a
almost-
cutout of
yeah.
I'll take a
that is
picture.
funny.
I'll take
I
a
didn't want
picture
to
and
say
put that
anything
in
because I was
there.
like, maybe I was like dreaming it. You know, so that's why
I didn't think if it was maybe YouTube. I've got my phone down on low, the lowest level. I didn't know, but yeah, it's definitely cut out. It was like a cut out shape of just the shape, and then the background was just gray.
Yeah, like it almost looked like he was in like a green screen or something. It was weird.
Yeah, Uncle Bill, you didn't notice that on yours?
No, I didn't notice that.
Okay.
I'll take a picture too, and we can post it up if anybody checked this out. But yeah, I definitely noticed that when I just saw it, and I thought to myself, "Oh wait, that looked way better than what I remembered it looking like." You know, and then I thought maybe I was just being overly nitpicky when I watched it before.
You probably come to find out that like some of the Scream Factory discs had certain versions, and others had different versions.
Probably.
Did you get the black background version?
Yeah.
Did you get the
Mine's
gray?
the gray. I got the gray
Oh,
background.
Yeah, I got the cutout Myers version.
At least I didn't get the eco case.
That's right.
So I want a replacement disc. I want to get the black background.
It was cool to see that. Like, I actually enjoy the fact that you can see like what they were going for. Like, even though it just doesn't, none of it works, and I can completely see why they took it out of there. But it was cool that they actually, that Michael Felsher actually went to the trouble to do all that, so we could see what it was originally supposed to look like.
Dibbity.
But yeah. So I mean, that was our final thought. So again, hopefully you guys like checking this out. We wanted to make sure to do a little commentary and then just have it available for anybody who maybe didn't buy this 4K or has it and can't find the damn thing. And you can just come check it out and we can watch it together.
It's always fun.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for checking this out. This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad, and we've got
The Creepy Kentuckian.
CK himself.
And I'm Uncle Bill.
And Uncle Bill himself from Dead Pit.
Give us the thumbs up.
Up your butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do.
I want you to. I don't care. Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell. Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.